For our science lesson today, we're going to be focusing on life cycles again. Last week we focused on the life cycle of a butterfly. This week we're going to be focusing on a different life cycle. But before we do that, I just want to recap what we learned about the life cycle of a butterfly. And I've just realised that I spelled butterfly wrong, so I'll just fix that up. Hey guys. All right. So who remembers what the first stage of the life cycle of a butterfly is? Megan, do you know?
The egg.
Okay, so I'm just going to draw a little picture over here. So what does the egg normally, what's it normally found on?
A leaf.
You know? A leaf, yeah, perfect. So, sorry, excuse my drawing, guys. And there's normally lots of eggs together, isn't there? Okay, Jessica, can you tell me what the second stage of the life cycle of a butterfly is?
When the egg turns into a caterpillar.
Yeah, perfect. Well done. So I'm just going to draw a little caterpillar here. I think some of you guys would be better at drawing this than me. Okay. Now, the third stage of the life cycle of a butterfly. Who remembers what that stage is?
The cocoon.
The cocoon. Perfect. Okay, so there is another name for a cocoon. Do you know what that is, Marie?
The chrysalis.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So, it just looks something like that. You guys are doing really well at remembering all of the stages. Okay. And finally, what's the last stage of the life cycle? Jonathan?
When the cocoon becomes a butterfly.
Great. I draw a beautiful butterfly. Okay, so those are the 4 stages of the life cycle of a butterfly. We've outlined them there. Today we are going to focus on the life cycle of a plant, which is quite different to the life cycle of a butterfly, and I think there's a couple more stages as well that we'll have to learn. So we will move on to that. Okay. So today, everyone, we're going to do a think, pair, share to explore what we know about the life cycle of a plant. I know you guys are really good at doing think, pair, share, so I thought that would be a nice way to explore the new life cycle that we're learning. So I've already organised groups. I'm just going to read out who I want you to group with, and then I want you to find a quiet space on the floor, and you can work there and have a discussion with your peer about the life cycle of a plant and what you already know about the life cycle of a plant, and then we'll come back and share that with the group. So Amy and Jessica, I'd like you to work together. Billy and Marie, Jonathan and Callie, Nikita and Megan, Simon and Ben, Harry and Lauren, Kate and Ryan, Jack and Olivia, and Izzy and Alexa. So I want to hear you having really good discussions about the life cycle of a plant, and then we'll come back shortly, okay? Probably about 5 minutes for this activity, okay, guys?
So what do you think they come from, Nikita?
Well, I think plants come from eggs.
No, I don't think so. I think plants come from seeds.
Oh, yeah.
In the ground.
Yeah, because you plant them in the ground and then trees and flowers grow from the seeds that are planted.
Yeah, and you need to put water on them.
Yeah,
so
and then that's how they grow.
Get bigger.
I don't know what happens after that, though.
No.
Okay, everyone, I'd like you all to finish up your discussion and come back and sit on the mat. Okay, thank you, everyone. We're going to now go through what you've just talked about in your groups. So I'm going to choose 5 groups, and I want one person from each group to tell me what you've just discussed. So this is the share part of the think, pair, share. You're going to now share that with with your groups. Okay, I might pick Amy. What did you and Jessica talk about?
That plants come from the ground. They grow in the ground.
Okay, great. Yes. I'm just going to write down. That's a really great point. Okay. Jonathan, you're sitting really nicely. What did you and Callie talk about?
That plants are like trees and flowers.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. Plants are trees and flowers. Okay, my third group, I think we'll go with Kate. Kate, what did you and Ryan talk about today?
That plants can also be food, so they can be.
Yeah, what do you mean by food?
They can be like grapes and apples.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, so some plants are fruit trees. And some fruits grow in the ground too, don't they? Okay, perfect. Now, our fourth group, I think, Izzy, what did you talk about today with Alexa?
That plants need the sun and water to grow really big.
Okay, so they need sun and water. Great, so, yeah, perfect. That's how they grow. And finally, I think we'll go with Megan.
Plants come from seeds, not from eggs.
Good point. That's right, because our butterfly come from an egg, didn't it?
Yes.
And now the life cycle of a plant is a bit different because it starts with a seed. Great. Okay, thanks for sharing, everyone. You've come with some really fantastic ideas. What we're going to do now is I'm going to go through the different stages of the life cycle of a plant with you. I'm going to draw pictures of the board so that you get an idea of what that stage might look like. Okay, so I'm just going to clean off my whiteboard so that we can start drawing the life cycle of the plant. There are 6 stages that we have to be aware of. So I really need to get a new duster, guys. This tissue's not very good. Okay, so stage 1. Does anyone have any ideas what stage 1 might be?
When the seed is in the ground.
Perfect. So the first, yeah, that's exactly right. So the seed has to be planted. What do seeds normally planted in?
Dirt.
Yeah, perfect. So this can be my dirt. That's my seed under the ground. So that's the first stage. That's the very beginning. Okay. The second stage. Now this one's quite tricky, so I'll tell you this is when the seed starts to germinate. Germinate is a word that you really need to know when talking about the life cycle of a plant. Does anyone know what it might be?
No.
No, that's a bit of a tricky one, isn't it? That's okay. So germination just is when the plant starts to come out of the seed, the very beginning. So the plant starts to grow from the seed. That's all that germination means. It's a tricky word, but it's really quite simple. So we'll draw my soil again. Seed. Does anyone know what these funny things might be coming out of the bottom of the plant?
Roots.
Perfect. Great job, Megan. And the roots grow deeper into the soil. Okay, so number 3. So stage number 3 is the actual growing of the plant. So it just starts to grow more than slightly bigger. Does anyone have any ideas what plants need to grow? I know we said a few things before during our Think, Pair, Share.
They need the sun. And
Great.
they need water.
Perfect. They also need light and the right minerals, which generally comes from the soil. So that helps them to grow as well. Okay, so my roots again. And the plant's starting to grow. Okay. Now, the 4th part of the life cycle is, does anyone want to have a guess what might happen next? Amy, do you know what might happen next?
It comes out of the ground.
Perfect. Great. So the plant actually starts to grow where we can see it, and it starts to flower. This doesn't necessarily mean flowers, but it starts to grow leaves and a stalk and all that sort of thing. Okay, now stage 5. Once our plant is fully grown, something happens. Just let me get my picture. So I'm going to use a different colour here. So now my plant has grown into a beautiful flower, and something then happens. The flower actually reproduces seeds. So the seeds are then able to, that's how new plants grow, because the seeds from inside the flower are dispersed and then they end up in the soil, and that's how another plant grows. So we'll draw another picture, which is actually stage 6 of the plant losing its seeds. So the seeds are just inside the flower there. That's how. That's the life cycle of a plant. We'll draw some seeds coming out of the... So they come out of the flower and then they fall back into the soil and more plants are able to grow. Yeah, so that's a few more stages. We had 4 with our life cycle of the butterfly, 4 stages, now we have 6 stages. So we go through, we'll just go through it again?
Mm-hmm.
So who knows what this stage is?
When you plant the seed.
Perfect. And the second stage is that G word,
Germination.
Germination. Great job. I'm glad you guys are remembering. And then the third stage is the plant growing, so the plant's starting to grow. And who knows what the 4th stage might be?
When the plant is growing out of the ground so you can see it.
Great.
When it flowers.
Yeah, perfect. And the 5th stage?
When the plant is growing the seeds.
Yeah, perfect. So growing the seeds inside the flower, right? And then number 6, the final stage?
Is when the seeds come out of the flower and back into the ground.
Perfect. So they're dispersed. So really, we could just draw arrows between our, oh, this is a bit, sorry guys, I'm just gonna, and then this arrow can go all the way back around here, because it really, once you get to the 6th stage and the seeds are dispersed, go straight back to the 1st stage and starts again. That's why it's called a life cycle, because it just keeps going around and around and around. Okay, now we're going to have a go at doing a bit of a cut and paste activity. I'm going to leave this on the board for you to see. It might help you with the activity. Okay guys, so this is the cut and paste activity that we're going to do. It has a circle. This is what I was saying before about how it's a cycle. So we might start at number 1 with the seed and end with the seeds being dispersed, but it really all just continues around. So you have 6 little pictures down the bottom, which are very similar to the ones that I've drawn on the board, and I want you to paste them in order, starting at 1 and ending at 6, so that you can see the life cycle of a plant. So I would like you to colour in your pictures beautifully, and then when we're finished, we'll stick it in our book, the sheet. Please, though, before you stick your pictures down, so cut them out, place them where you'd like them to go, but don't stick them down yet. Call me over and I'll have a quick look and see how you're going, and make sure that all of the pictures are in the right spot. So you can go and get your science books out of your tub and keep them at your table with you. I'd like you to work individually on this one, but I will come around and help you if need be. And always, you've got this board up here that you can have a look at, which will definitely help you. So you can all go to your tables now. There's glue and scissors at your desk, and there's plenty of coloured pencils for you to use. Off you go. girls look like you're doing a fantastic job. Your life cycle's in the perfect order. We've got about another 5 minutes to go, and then we'll stick them in our books. You can decorate the page as much as you like. Okay, everyone, you can come and sit back on the mat now. Just put your books away in your tubs and come and take a seat. Okay, thanks everyone. You all did really great work. I really liked your life cycles, and everyone seemed to be on track and know where to stick each picture, which is really great. I'm just going to choose 3 people now just to tell me something that they learnt today about the life cycle of a plant. So I think I'll choose Billy. Billy, what did you learn today about the life cycle of a plant?
That germination is when the plant starts coming out of the seed, when it's in the ground.
Great work, Billy. That's really fantastic. I'm really glad that you understand what germination is. That's really important. Olivia, what did you learn today?
That plants need more than just the sun and the water to grow. They need light and minerals as well.
Great job. Perfect. That's a really good point as well. And finally, Megan, what did you learn today?
That plants grow seeds inside the plant, and then they come out and go back into the ground.
Great, and that's how the life cycle starts again, isn't it? Perfect. That's a really good point, Megan. Okay, guys, you've done a really great job today. That's the end of our science session for today. We are going to further explore the life cycle of a plant in our next science lesson.